Hi. Hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück bei Speedruns auf der Gamescom 2025. Ich habe ein Surprise-Interview für euch. Ein ganz wichtiger und toller Mensch eines großen Speedrun-Events sitzt jetzt links neben mir und ich werde jetzt auf Englisch wechseln. One of the heads of tech of what you are just one head of tech.
No, I am the head.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Who are you and why are you here?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Wyrm. I am the director of technology at Games Done Quick. I'm here helping head up with Super Meat Boy 3D. They're running an event to celebrate speedrunning and speedrunning for specifically Super Meat Boy 3D, where you can come win an Xbox if you get the best time here at Gamescom.
You said you are from Games Done Quick. This is this small event in the USA, right? It's something about speedrunning.
We grew up a little bit, and then right now we're still chugging along. But yeah, it's been a long time for me. I've been at GDQ for over 10 years. I think my first event was 2013, where I was just a humble attendee. Attendee was not even a thing at the time. Essentially, everything was done by runners. Mike Uyama, who's the founder of GDQ, was a runner of some questionable games. Terraria, or no, not Terraria. Subterranea, I believe that's the game that he ran. And yeah, it's it's certainly grown since then, and happy to see speedrun growing here in Germany. So
We also started in the basement, basically. But it wasn't it the basement of his mom back then?
yes, that's right. Well, it was supposed to be at a convention called MagFest. So MagFest had been always a big music convention. But what happened was they couldn't get internet at the convention. So they were promised internet. They couldn't get it. And so they moved it to Mike's basement because Mike had
internet back in the day wasn't a thing everyone had. So,
well, yeah, it's...
So, how was it for you? I mean, what was your first contact with speedrunning anyway before you ended up at GDQ?
Sure. I certainly was very interested in technology at the time. My first was the quote-unquote fake speedrun of Super Mario Bros. 3, which ended up being a TAS, tool-assisted speedrun. But that got me very, very interested in, oh, wow, there's all these tricks that you can do. There's different ways to play a game. And then finally, I started watching GDQ at first. And then I saw, oh, the GDQ runners are also streaming on their own streams. And some of them were in my area. And so we had a meetup, and then that got me into the community.
So you are one of those few people who got into speedrunning because the speed techs were so fascinating.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
someone with infinite knowledge about Ocarina of Time, you just told me that tech stuff is pretty interesting. So what was it like when you first saw like Ace or SRF being done in Ocarina of Time?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty shocking. I mean, so I ended up studying computer science.
Oh,
I think in part because
that's the way.
There were so many interesting pieces of technology. There was so many things that you can do. I found gaming, especially online gaming, as it was, flourishing at the time, to be a very welcoming community. And people at the time would have to say, if you were playing StarCraft, you coded your own game in StarCraft. And so, sometimes I'd hop in and the map maker would be in a game and I'd ask them questions about how they did things. But my first speedrunning game was Ocarina of Time. At the time, mostly, especially when people were sending VHSs to Speed Demos Archive, in order to get their speedruns online.
Demos archive.
Indeed, Speed Demos Archive. And finally, you know, as the internet became a thing and people were posting on the forum, and then suddenly we had Skype groups, now people were sharing tech and saying, you know, even back then, we had the Holy Grails, right? And so when I joined, the Holy Grail was there a way to go through the door of time before you beat all the stone dungeons? And so there were a bunch of us, we're known as glitch hunters, and you just, you know, stab at the door, you know, an infinity amount of times, and then suddenly, oh, we figured out you could click through the door, and then it was a question of, well, what did you need to do as a child before you go through the door? Because while you could go through the door one way, you couldn't go through the door the other way. Yeah, and so that became another question. So, and yeah, it's you know, the game's been out at that time, and it had been a decade, and then now even 20, 30 years later, people are still finding new tech, new...
It's fascinating, right? And you would think, with all the stuff being found up to now, there must be the final time now. It can't get any better. And then someone comes around the corner and shows a huge pic, and everyone is like, oh my god, it's another 20 seconds. Let's do another routing. Let's go. But what is your impression of those speedrun communities, like working together as a team to break down these things, to break the games, to explore what's possible? What's your impression of the community working together?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly heartening to see the communities all throughout games working together, fostering. You know, I think a lot of us do this because, you know, either it was a game from our childhood, something that we picked up, and, you know, especially I play a lot of randomizer now. It's a way to experience something you enjoyed in a new way. And I would say a lot of the new tricks that you see, especially for old games, they're almost always coming out of a new player, a new generation, someone younger, and then they're getting shown, oh, you know, this game is timeless. It's amazing to play. And then suddenly they're going into areas. They don't have this, oh, we have to do it this way. We have to do it this way. We have to do it this way. They're playing the game themselves, and they're finding new things. They say, oh, I want to play it like I want to enjoy the game how I want to enjoy it. And then that leads to new tricks being found. I mean, you know, speedrunning categories, obviously everybody knows any percent, but it was always interesting to me, especially with Ocarina of Time, any percent had been the predominant category until it was quote unquote dead, right? There was what we thought at the time was the perfect speedrun of any percent. But rather than putting the game down or trying to grind for that extra 1 or 2 frames, you know, a couple of community members said, you know, spearheaded by Narcissa, why don't we try MST? Medallions, Stones, Temples, Trials, yeah. And that became a new category that revitalized people's interest in the game, and you know, OOT continued to grow from there.
My final question, this is the only opportunity I can ask this question, and I will do it now before I give it up to Glassy over there. Are you team safe or kill the animals? Team save or team kill the animals?
I am team save the animals. Yeah, it's and I'll say, you know, maybe just because I am a GDQ staff member, you know, GDQ, while speedrunning, we're showcasing it. It's for charity. It's for gamers all together to come together and work to help promote a great cause. So,
thank you for giving us a glimpse of what it's like to work at GDQ and also being a passionate speedrunner yourself. Thank you so much for being here and having this spontaneous interview with me.
Yeah, thank you. And, you've got a great event here, and I'm hoping you'll continue to grow into the future.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Glassy and his Ocarina of Time ROM hack called Majora's Mask. A short break, and then we will be back with Majora's Mask. Thank you for being here.